Hello and welcome. Good to be back with you for another edition of Perfectly Placed. This time it's for racing on Saturday here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Of course, we've got the listed Iridescent Stakes. We've got the Grade 3 Langeman as well. And those two races in particular promise to be races that you obviously don't want to miss. Good racing throughout 11 races. Me and Alistair are going to be sitting doing this preview together. Ali, thank you very much. Good to be with you. I know you've been a busy man. Many people in good spirit leading up into the Hollywoodbets Durban July, and I'm sure there'll be various panel discussions just to help the punters accordingly.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, wonderful to be here. I think this meeting deserves a nice little discussion about it. The Langeman's a race steeped in history. Great horses have won it. It is your first real window into the Cape Summer with regard to Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas, etc., etc. So yeah, looking forward to Saturday. A standalone meeting. Hopefully the weather plays ball. That'll be the big thing. It's forecast to be drizzle leading into the meeting. Saturday looks to be fine, but hopefully there's not too much damage before that. So hoping we can get this meeting off. And then from Saturday, of course, 2 weeks to the Hollywoodbets Durban July. Really looking forward to the week leading up. You'll be part of it. Looking forward to seeing you in the crowd at the Hollywoodbets panel discussion at Springfield, which is probably a safe place to be fair. But yeah, it's a special week and obviously a special day, the first Saturday of July.
Yeah, listen, I think many punters by now, hopefully you've already started a few multiples into the big race come that first Saturday in July. But we're going to focus on matters at hand. We've got 11 races. The first race, there's a jackpot 1 that starts in race number 1 at 11:20. Second race is where the bar pot 1 starts. The third race, the PA. Fourth race will be the pick 6. That goes off at 1:05. Second jackpot, race number 5 at 13:40. And then we've got a second buy pot on offer as well, which starts in race 6 at 2:15. And then a jackpot 3. Yeah, at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. That'll be race 8 at 15:20. All things being equal, race number 11 is when the last race goes off at 5 o'clock. All right, Ali?
Is that the betting menu for Hollywoodbets Durban July Day?
Well, pretty much. I think it's just to try and give guys that a little bit of an extra edge, try and make some money leading up into that Saturday. Ali, the first race, 11:20. I'm going to give you the betting for race number 1. You'll be doing the services of tipping. First race, Star Majors, your 22-10 favourite. Louis Mkotwa gets the ride for James Crawford. Number 10, United Front, the first timer. Sean Veal for Vaughan Marshall at 33-10. 2 Gold Gabowskis at 15-4. 4-1, number 9, New World. And it's 11-2 and better those.
Yeah, okay, so interesting. Number 1, Star Major. Second. He was an entry for the Langeman, funny enough. But they've taken the lower ground. James Crawford gone the lower ground here with the son of Quirari. Louis Mkotwa takes the ride. The first up was very encouraging behind All the Rage. That was the day when there was no action towards the outside. I'd say it's balanced out over the last few weeks. In fact, maybe even more than just a few weeks. That it seems like the track's pretty fair, whether you're inside or outside. But certainly in mid-April, before any rain came, you were dead on the outside, and Star Major was probably one of 2 horses at that time of the calendar that came alive. So second to All the Rage, he obviously went up and ran in feature race company subsequently. So yeah, he's got to be the right one in the race. I have respect for Gold Gabowski. Gavin Larena takes the ride, but also from that run on the 14th of April, he looks held. He's got half a length to turn around and has a run in between with Churchillian. But just a little bit of a heads up. Vaughan Marshall was part of Perfectly Placed, and he's optimistic about the future with this horse, number 10, United Front. Not necessarily here. Obviously, draw 10, he's a little bit weary about it over 1,400 metres, and why wouldn't you be? But just stick that into your black book going forward, number 10, United Front. Number 9, New World, also has to have some sort of good place chance with Richard Free and the Irons, having run second the last 2 starts behind horses who run in the Grade 3 Langeman. But all in all, I think to kick things off, a win on number 1, Star Major, is probably the right way to go. Let's now move on to race number 2. This will be the first leg of the first buy pot, the Race Coast Maiden Juvenile Plate for fillies over 1,400 metres. Brandon, how does the market look?
Yeah, so we've got Splash of Colour, Gavin Larena for Vaughan Marshall at 2-1. Number 8 got the look at 33-10. 7 on Sidiums at 4-1. 1 Love Her Madly at 8-1. And after that, 10s and better.
Okay, what's the play here? A little bit of form to work with here, and maybe 1 or 2 first timers that make some appeal. What have you done?
Elliot is obviously the start of the bar pot 1, which I have tipped up. I'll read through those numbers shortly, but there's a few that are interesting. I'd probably lean towards number 6, Splash of Colour. Gavin's been booked to ride for Vaughan Marshall. We know that Gavin's in red hot form around the country. Good third last time behind Take It As Red, who we see prominent in the betting for the Iridescent Stakes a bit later on. And if you go and watch the replay, she kept grinding. She's still a little bit green off that turn, Ali, and she caught the eye late. So I think this filly is going to take another step forward. Nothing wrong with her form. She's just had the 2 runs to date. She's drawn to be put in a winnable position. So I think she definitely brings in the right form to go very close here in race 2. Respect for number 1, Love Her Madly. I'm sure Paul Reeves pulling out that little bit of hair that he has got left. I mean, this filly, I believe, shows some good work back at home. We go 3 starts back when she ran 3rd up the straight here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and we all said next time, absolutely no race. I think she's been dying to step up in trip, and we know that Brevin Plyke is, well, he's got the right people behind him. He's certainly improved in a big way here in the Western Cape. So 1, Love Her Madly from a good draw, huge respect, and then I think we do need to watch number 7, Oncidium. Richard Faree for Justin Snaith. A lot better than what we happened to see first time out. But Ali, now that I've looked at it, I think Splash of Colour is going to take a little bit of beating. I've gone with a bar pot play. I'm going to spend 360 Rand. The first leg I'm going to bank a number 6. Second leg will go 1, 4, 6, 7 and 8. By 1 and 2, by 3, 4 and 10, by 1, 2, 3 and 7. And the last leg will go 5, 6 and 7. Race number 3, first leg of the place accumulator. It's the Joy and the Magic, a maiden plate. We go off at 12:30. They're up the straight over 1,000 meters. Ali, the top of the betting boards, we got the first time, a Gavin Larena for Vaughan Marshall. That's October Storm at 11 to 10, 7 Digby's at 33 to 10, number 6 Ico at 4 to 1, and it's 8s and better after that.
So interesting start to the place accumulator. I don't think it's a race that's going to take much winning, unfortunately. The horse that I think is worth highlighting of the race runners, I'll get to the first timers in a moment, is number 7 Digby. The Shane Humby way will be to bring them on slowly. Made his debut a year ago, can you believe it? And then was rested for about 10 months. Has come back with 2 nice runs, 2 pleasing runs, stepping forward all the while. I think the engagement of Andrew Fortune is key, and also the drop back to 1,000 meters could be key to see the absolute best from the son of Captain of All. So I think of the race runners between him and number 6 Ico, they probably strike a chord as the 2 likeliest to get into the mix. Number 2 Eternal Diamond with blinkers on. Vaughan did say on Perfectly Placed that he has seen a lot of improvement with the headgear on at work. So expect better. Whether that's going to be enough to propel him to victory is something that we will know come race time. But 2 first timers to talk about. I bumped into Eric Sands at Wilmington on Thursday, and he made mention of number 5 Magical Place. Again, not necessarily the Sands way to have them fired up first time out, but perhaps keep an eye on him. But the unbelievably well-bred October Storm, obviously related to October Morn, who won the Grade 1 South African filly sprint at Hollywoodbets Scottsville just over a year ago. This is blood in demand, obviously, through the family. A lot of the former owners of the family have retained a share in this horse. And he won't have to be as good as the rest of his family to strike on debut. So watch the market on number 1, October Storm. Be cognizant that he's obviously a horse that could have a lot to come from his debut. And Vaughan was fairly optimistic that he's going to be in good shape and shows good work at home, are the official comments at the front of the card. So he's an easy place, he's an easy direction, an easy, interesting horse to pick out when it comes to the first leg of the place accumulator brand. And I think that he'll go quite well. As far as my place accumulator is concerned, which I have tipped up going into race number 3, 1 and 7 in the first leg. So I have got Digby as my race runner as a bit of backup with October Storm. By 1, 2 and 5 in the second leg. By 4 and 10. And then on banker 3, by banker 7 in the feature races. Then 2 and 4 in race 8. And 2, 4 and 9 in the 9th and final leg of the place accumulator. Race number 4, first leg of the pick 6 off at 1 into bet open maiden for fillies and mares over 1,400 metres, a field of 11 to face the starter. Brandon chose even numbered races, so I wonder what you've got here for us, Brandon. First of all, the market.
First leg of the pick 6, Al. I think we'll get a decent pool come Saturday afternoon. 2 Taylor's Version is your favourite at 22 to 10. Number 5 Red Coral at 33 to 10. 1 Meg's Legacy at 15 to 4. And after that, 11 to 2 and better.
So a little bit of form here represented later on with the listed iridescent stake. Might be an angle to take. What have you done?
Yeah, so Al, I think if we have a look at them, I want to chat about this horse Meg's Legacy, who's obviously very well related. I thought a cracking run last time over 1,400 metres. Bred to obviously go even a little bit further as well. Ali, the only thing that does concern me is second just in front of her was that horse Cape Captain. They ran a stinker during the course of the week.
She got an excuse, she bled.
And also, if you go and watch the race, first part of it, Joshua unfortunately couldn't get her in. She raced 5 wide throughout. So there were excuses. So perhaps I'm being a little bit harsh with the stinker. But yeah, Meg's Legacy, right field, good draw, 57.5. JP van der Merwe knows her well. Ali, she's parked up to do no work. She's got to go into the play. Number 2, Taylor's Version, Sean Veal for Candice Bass Robinson. You have to think that she's going to be a lively contender from a good draw. And after those Red Coral, maybe a bit of Red State, I'm a bit concerned about the draw when it comes to Red State. But Ricky Maingard has got his horses in fine form. In fact, Grant found us a nice one at 100 to 1 during the course of the week. That went down to the start beautifully and got nailed on the line. So watch those horses trained by Ricky. There's not much else, Al. The rest of them, I think they're going to battle a little bit when I look at the markets and I look at their form. So Taylor's Version, Meg's Legacy, maybe Red Coral, they're probably more than enough when it comes to race number 4, the first leg of the pick 6. I'm just going to go with the obvious. I'm not going to try and complicate it. I did try and work out a pick 6, but it's just far too much money to be tipping on a show. We'd only be able to take 1%, so I've completely left the pick 6 alone. I'm going to go and take the swinger here. 1 and 2. One's trading at, say, 33 to 10. The other one's at 22 to 10. But I think that's the obvious way to make money in race 4. Let's move along. Let's go to race number 5. This will be the start of the second jackpot, so please take note of that. The first jackpot starts in race number 1. I'll give you the markets, and then Ali will give us what he likes when it comes to race number 5. Number 4, Ahead of the Facts, 7 to 2. Number 10, Heliotropes at 4 to 1. 3, Quite a King at 5 to 1. And after that, you're pretty much getting 8s and better. Al.
Well, price you say Ahead of the Facts?
Ahead of the Facts is your favourite, 7 to 2.
Oh, I thought you said 7 to 10.
No,
Sorry, I misheard.
yeah, 7 to 2.
Okay, 7 to 10. I'm going to say, whew, that's far too skiddy because he is my top choice, but he's obviously got vulnerabilities here with 64 kilos on his back. I thought it was a good, tenacious win last time. I don't think he's any ordinary horse. I think that he's going to come into his own come the summer. Ahead of the Facts is likely to be targeting some good, valuable long-distance races. And I know that the Snates hold him in high regard. They've always said, keep an eye on him going forward. And if you consider that he's a rising 4-year-old and he's got better days ahead, he's likely to be ahead of the curve. So very interesting horse, number 4, Ahead of the Facts. Not necessarily for this meeting on Saturday, but just to work with going forward. Again, the old course with a 450-meter run, and that would remain a question mark, even though he is 1 from 1 on this track. But he was getting them right at the end last time out with 53 kilograms. So I do expect him to run into the top 3. Hence my bet at the end, which I'll reveal in just a moment. But he is going to be hard-pressed with 64 kilograms on the back of a £2 penalty, which could be generous. But weirdly, he's down in class.
Just your thought, Al. Sorry to
Yes.
butt in, but it's obviously a debate that we have as presenters here in the Western Cape. The 64, does it bug you? Is it a trip thing? Can they get away with it? We've seen horses win with it, but I just would love your...
No, I think it's circumstantial. So in this race, for example, where bottom weight is 57 kilograms, if you equate it to a normal 60 kilograms with a £9 turnaround, I don't think it matters. I think it does matter when we do look at, you see a 52 versus a 64. Then I think you got to really put your thinking caps on. But in a true handicap, weight is weight. You got to you earn it, you shoulder it, and when there's still sort of an equal buffer, I don't think it really matters. But I think it does when you get those sort of special races that are programmed from time to time, where you can get a 64 and you can get a 51 as well. Then maybe shop around, especially over this type of trip. But yeah, there are enough queries about number 4, Ahead of the Facts. So not past the post, but he is my tentative first selection. My backup is number 10, Heliotrope. She is such a trier. I know winning comes at a premium for this daughter of Rafif. For me, she moved up a winner at her penultimate start when she just got collar laid by Quite a King, who she obviously meets again. And on that run, Heliotrope comes in very nicely weighted. 2.5 kilos better off for, let's call it, just under a length. That should be enough to turn it around with Heliotrope. With Quite a King. And then last time out, running second to Sanderstock, I don't think that was any disgrace, especially with Sanderstock, running a fair race again during the week. So number 10, Heliotrope, from the draw. I know that is a little bit of a worry, but I think that she'll give her heart and soul and run another riper race. So race number 5, Swingers, Box Swingers, 4 and 10 will be my play. Feature race time, race number 6, the listed Iridescent Stakes, 2:15, 1,500 meters is the distance. And I don't know what your opinion is, Brandon, but right now, when it comes to the 2-year-old fillies in Cape Town, not necessarily around the country, we know that Alan Creef's got a few nukes in the locker. But as far as Cape Town is concerned, looking around at the 2-year-old fillies, and nothing's really putting up their hand saying, I'm the one for next season. So we might learn a little bit here.
Yeah, correct. I think Alan Creef's quite dominant, and I think we'll see a very special one come out on July Day as well. But yeah, Ali, just looking at this particular race, I was quite surprised to see how they're priced up. So let me give that to the viewers. Number 6, Ukaduma is your 5-2 joint favourite with number 7, Lowfeld Lily. She's My World, number 2 at 33 to 10 with number 3, Electromagnetism. And then 10, to 1 about Paralegal. That's one of the rank outsiders. Take It As Red could be the value at 12 to 1. And the rank outsider is the first timer, number 4, with Muzayeni on board for Justin Snaith at 18 to 1.
A few issues here because She's My World, for me, is the best horse in the race, but the stamina queries. Electromagnetism has shown a bit of mettle, but stamina queries. Ukuduma wasn't really wanted in the market first time out, and the form is a bit dicey. We don't know how she's going to go over 1,500 metres. I'm in a bit of a flux in this race. Try and help us here.
I'd love to, Al. I read it exactly the way you read it. I mean, Ukuduma, she popped up on them first time. Mr. Marshall did say in the post-race interview as well that they were fairly surprised that she was able to get the job done on debut. Gavin Lorena will know well. They step her up in trip. She got a tricky draw of 6. I know it's a small field, but she'll need to be placed from that position. But I'm not happy to go and take 5 to 2. That I can assure you. I really like a bit of Lowveld Lily. Al, I've watched her closely. I thought it was a good win last time. I was scratching my head first time at the races when she ran third. I was a little bit concerned about the form lines as well. But she was so dominant in her next start. And I said the moment she goes over a bit of ground, we can watch her closely. She draws 7. I'm not too worried about that. Richard Farrell will switch her off in the small field. And there's no doubt that she'll love the step up in trip. So 7 Lowveld Lily is probably going to be my top selection. But I think all the value at 12 to 1 lies with number 1, Take It As Red. She was still awfully green on the turn last time. Chad Little from a good draw. He'll bounce her out. Those blinkers stay on. Ali, I looked at Grant straight after the race. Grant Knowles, who obviously has the shares in this filly. And I said there's going to be lots of improvement to come from her because she didn't want a corner. When she eventually let that penny drop, she really kept digging and fighting all the way. So I think 1, Take It As Red, we're going to see big improvement. 12 to 1, ridiculous price. I am concerned about the staying powers of number 2, She's My World. We can't fault number 3, Electromagnetism. She's in good form at the moment. And we know nothing about the first timer. So now that mouthful's out the way, I think 7 Lowveld Lily is probably the horse that they need to beat here. But I would respect Take It As Red at about 12 to 1. I've gone with the second bar pot. I love my bar pot play. I'm going to spend 216 Rand. It starts now in race number 6. We'll go 1, 2, 3 and 7 in the first leg, by 5, 6 and 7, by 2, 4 and 6, by 2 and 4, by 1, 3 and 4, and at the back we're going to bank a number 6. Let's move along. Let's go to race number 7. It's time for the Grade 3 Langerman. What a field. 1,500 meters the trip. Goes off at 2:45. I want to give you the betting. Number 2, Dream World, 22 to 10. 5, Happy Verse, 33 to 10. 7, Randolph Hurst at 33 to 10. Number 6, Roland Garros at 7 to 2. 5 to 1, number 4, Absolutely Yes. And the 2 rank outsiders, Pay the Palace and Vapor Trail, both trading at 16 to 1. Ali, what a field. We know that Justin Snaith very strong. Mr. Marshall, in his own right, very strong because I know he thinks the world of the favourite number 2, Dream World.
Very good race. Think back to a year ago. We don't want the same drama, obviously, but one strap was scratched due to an elevated TCO2. And the race ended up being won by 8 on 18. So not like he was out of place by lifting the trophy. I think back over the years, One World won this race and many other champions have come through the Langerman. So it's a race steeped in tradition and almost unlike the Iridescent Stakes. I think we really are going with 7. It's a small field, but a high quality field. 7 horses that are high class, and I don't think any trainer would moan having any of these 7 in their yard. I just want to start with an honourable mention for number 1, Pay the Palace. He might be towards the bottom of the board, but chatting to Albert, are perfectly placed. He's of the opinion that this horse has not got his legs tied up, would have needed his last run when running 4th behind Roland Garros, the form that's probably most key in this race, and having likely needed that run, he's optimistic that he can step forward and certainly not disgrace himself. Where that fits him, and I don't know. But Brandon, there's a few ways of looking at this race. Dreamworld has done very little wrong so far. He's held in high regard. He's a high quality horse. But will he reach the distance? There's a family of sprinters. But being by One World, it is every opportunity that he is going to step up to 1,500 meters on his coconut. But he's going to be well tested here, number 2, Dreamworld. Then we've got number 4, Absolutely Yes. Obviously won the Somerset 1200 last time. The mare was trained by Brett Crawford. She stayed all day, did Maybe Yes. The rest of the family don't, or the offspring don't rather. So there's something to think about there. Happy Verse, a thorough professional of a horse. There's nothing 2 years old about him. I mean, obviously Justin's pretty keen to get him gelded. But as far as his racing manners are concerned, he's not green, he's not wayward, he knows what he's there to do. So there's a lot to like about him, and he's more hard, having taken on older horses last time. Roland Garros is on the up of that, there's no doubt, and he beat Randolph Hurst in the warm-up race by a short head. But I think Randolph Hurst just has more quality pound for pound than anyone else in this race. He strikes me as a horse that's going to come into his own when he goes a mile over the summer months, especially on the long run. I think maybe a little bit of ring rustiness with a sort of nearly a 2-month break in between, whereas Roland Garros had another run in between when winning his maiden. I think that all counted against Randolph Hurst, and I think with the run he'll be a lot better for it. He hasn't got the most ideal draw, but he does drop it in the early stages and he is able to make up a lot of ground. So the way that I read it, a lot of horses I like in this race, but number 7 Randolph Hurst to win it. Oh, we got a race number 8. This is the Race Cape powered by Hollywoodbets. Class 4 for fillies and mares over 1,600 metres. Scratch here is number 4, My Only Weakness, who for me was a live chance. Market, Brandon?
Yeah, well, the market has changed up a little bit now, Ali. 2 Lady Lookalike is your 5-2 favourite. Number 5 Miraculous at 28-10. 6 Cam Chutka. Brevin Plyke is good to see him getting a chance from Andre Null and his team. That's also at 28-10. 6-1 number 1 Pentalina. And then it's 13-2 and better the rest.
Interesting. Brevin Plyke, he's riding for Andre now. Andre's in form from coast to coast. Can see why, 63.5. Going to lighten that up with 2.5. Is she on your radar, Cam Chutka?
Absolutely. And she's a nice big individual, Ellie. I can see this filly going forward. They're going to take off the 2.5 kilograms. We know that Brevin's riding out of his skin here in the Western Cape. In fact, he's hit the front in the Apprentice Championship. Is that right? I see he shortened up in the market. He was at 15-10. There was betting available. He's now at 13-20.
You had a bet on that market?
No, listen. Shame. Trent's, you've got to give it to him.
With months on the sideline.
Months on the sideline. And that injury came at such a bad time because he was riding winners. But he'll be back. It's always good to see that these youngsters obviously
But it's
get
an
better
enthralling
and
fight.
better.
The Jockey Championship, the Apprentice Championship. I think those are the 2 that all to play for. Trainers, game over. Stallions, game over. Owners, game over. Breeders, just about game over. But as far as the men in the saddle are concerned from both disciplines, that's wide open.
Yeah, I think Richard will stretch away any moment now. I think he's only just started travelling, but that's for the guys that want to take those exotic bets, Ellie. Nothing wrong with it. But Ellie, just having a look at this race, I think Lady Lookalike's got to be a massive runner. She was probably a little bit unlucky last time. She ran second, beaten in a driving finish by that very informed horse, La Davina. Before that, she was a good winner, Beach Queen. She had been dropping in the rating. She got to a winnable mark from a good draw. I'm not too worried about the 1,600. You have to think that she's got a lively winning chance. So 2 Lady Lookalike, she's your 5-2 favourite. 5 Miraculous, she's got me stumped. I've been for her so many times. When she won her maiden, I actually thought she'd progress to be one of those horses that would end up, and you don't want to get overly excited, but I thought she'd be competitive at grade 1 level, Ali. She's been a little bit disappointing. She kind of moves up and then she just doesn't finish it off. So they're stepping her up in trip. Let's see if that'll be the trick with number 5 Miraculous. 6 Cam Chutka, she's got an obvious chance. She'll stay the 1,600, no problem. It's just whether or not Brevin can get her into a good position, not doing too much work too early. But she's also got a big winning chance. I think those are pretty much the horses that we need to focus on when it comes to this particular race. I'm going to go and take the swinger numbers 2 and 6. So Lady Lookalike and number 6 Cam Chutka. I'll take that a few times on the tote. Let's go to race number 9. We're getting closer and closer to the end of it all. The betting for race number 9 has number 3, Ricky Tiki Tava, as your favourite at 4-1 with number 4, October Fest. 2 Maritzburg Memory, 11-2. Number 5, American Ultra at 13-2. 7-1, number 9, Dark Winter. She's got class at 15-2. And then it's 8s and better the field. This is a nightmare.
No, not at all.
Not?
I like a horse too much here. PA Banker, well, close to a PA Banker. My place accumulator had 3 horses in the race, but I'm really keen on a top 3 finish from number 9, Dark Winter. It's 7-1. Gavin Larena takes a ride. Rating drop. She was once a 94. She's down to an 85. She would have needed her last run against a field, for me, 2 divisions stronger than this. She wasn't disgraced behind Trip to Maputo, who subsequently went to Abaka and just missed.
That was on the poly.
That was on the poly. Unfortunately, it was on the poly. You could argue that had it not been on the poly, you'll never know. Anyway, I think that she is now just about close to her peak. I think she is ripe for the taking, number 9, Dark Winter. I make her the horse that they all need to beat. I think 7-1's a crazy price. I expect her to trim up. And I just think there are a lot of horses here that are in that place. Horses that are not really going to step through the division. Not that I'm expecting Dark Winter to suddenly be running in the Laissez-Faire or the Southern Cross come summertime, but I do think that she is pound for pound better than anyone else in this race. So I'm expecting her to run well. The value is all with her, so we'll get to the play in just a moment, but I can't see her missing the top 3, and with a little bit of luck, she might win. The other horses who form parts of the reckoning, number 2, Maritzburg Memory, nightmare of a horse to follow. If you've been on Maritzburg Memory's side in 13 starts, you would have had a thrill in most of those starts, but you also would have been a lot worse off. But I think she's good enough. It's just whether she's in the mood, number 2, Maritzburg Memory. But she's a player all the same. And then number 4, Oktoberfest, I think also enters calculations. Ran to Maritzburg Memory at the penultimate start. Is weighted to turn that form around, to be fair. Andrew Fortune's on board, this daughter of Master of My Fate. And I think if she doesn't win, she will at least go close. I think then I'll pretty much resign to the fact that she is a sprinter, and there's no point taking her around the turn anytime soon, because she's running solid races in the sprints. But all in all, each way play number 9, Dark Winter, you can't put me off. I think that she's a huge chance, and she's well overpriced. Moving on now to race number 10. This is the Hollywoodbets.net Class 5 over 1,200 metres. This for the fillies and mares. Did you know what you were in for when you chose the even-numbered races?
Ali, at the time, no. But listen, I think the winter months here in the Western Cape, that's going to happen more often than not. I think Tuesday's card's also a tough card. But
I quite like Tuesday's card. We'll get to that later on.
The tougher the better for you, huh?
Oh yes, love it.
Value.
I want to pick 6 paying 300,000, not 3,000.
And you've been on the other end of catching that. Wealthy man, Ali. Wealthy man. But I'll give you the betting for race number 10, the penultimate. Number 1, Becky Sharp. We talk about quirky fillies. I was listening to you about Maritzburg Memory. Yes, quirky. Very difficult. Becky Sharp, 33 to 10. Number 3, Easy Money, 33 to 10. Number 4, St. Bridget at 33 to 10. 7, I'm the Buzz at 5 to 1, and it's 8 to 1 and better the field.
You mentioned quirky, and she is Becky Sharp, but she's better and better all the time. I think she's going to be with a pony down to the start forever. But with that said, she doesn't sort of do U-turns and donuts like she used to. Sean Veal takes the ride. He'll be smiling on the way down to the start riding this filly for Vaughan Marshall. Is she your top choice, or are you looking elsewhere?
I've looked at this field and I'm still going to stick to that opinion that if you run it 3 times over, you're going to get a different result each time. I think number 4, St. Bridget, is the interesting one, yeah. She really took off to run a lovely race last time. It was over the 1,400 metre trip. They're bringing her back in trip now, but we've had a bit of rain here in the Western Cape, so dare I say that the sprint trip at the moment, the 1,200, more like a 1,250, 1,300. She'll be switched off early. Aldo will be waiting, and hopefully she can chime into the race at the right time. So 4, St. Bridget, for me, is probably the horse that I'll side with in what looks a nightmare of a race. But it doesn't stop there. 1, Becky Sharp, as you've rightly said, she's getting better and better. Her race day manners have also gotten better, so that's going to put her in good stead. And then Easy Money, Pit Buerta, Brevin Pleikes. I always watch this combination. He takes off 2.5 kilograms. She ran a lovely race last time out. She's nice and consistent. There's a few here, I really don't like the look of the race. What am I going to do when it comes to race number 10? I have gone with the each way of number 4, St. Bridget. She's trading at 33 to 10 at the moment. We can't get hurt. I think we're going to take a few win places into the lucky last. That'll be my play in race 10. Let's go to the last race, race number 11. It goes off at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. The Hollywoodbets Bright Future. It's a middle stakes, over 1,000 meters. The favorites, number 9, I'm So Pretty, at 4 to 1. Number 1, Miss World, at 9 to 2. Number 5, Tanneron, at 11 to 2. Elusive Winter, 6 to 1. That's with number 7, Nordic Chief. And you're getting 7s about the rest, Lots of value, yeah?
Well, I've misread this race. Well, either myself or the bookmakers have misread this race, because I think the 2 key horses here are Elusive Winter and Nordic Chief, numbers 6 and 7. They've bumped heads before. They bumped heads at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on the 5th of March. And I know you're not necessarily comparing apples with apples, because the dimensions of both race courses are totally different. For obvious reasons, Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, you run down the straight over 1,000 metres, and at the country course you forever turning until the last 500. But with that said, we are in Elusive Winter's happy place distance-wise. He loves 1,000 metres. He's got that cheap speed, that natural speed. And it does come back to bite him over 1,100 metres or 1,200 metres, to be fair. But there are still good races over 1,000 metres that you would want to target. He's going to make them stretch on the soft track to close the deficit. He's doing very well at home. I've always been a fan of this son of captain of all, trained by Michelle Ricks and Harold Crawford. Gareth Wright gets the most out of him as well. And for me, I think that he'll run very well. If he doesn't win, I think he'll go close. And wherever you put one, you've got to put the other. Nordic Chief, who has met Elusive Winter a couple of times, not only beating him at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on the 5th of March, but even last time out behind Empire State, there was very little ground between them. But also bear in mind that Elusive Winter was in front going into the last 100 metres, and Nordic Chief only got the better of him late, and dropping back to 1,000 metres, you're probably coming more into Elusive Winter's game. But all in all, little to choose between them. The weights off a 97 tell you that number 7 Nordic Chief is better in here. In fact, the fillies are best in here due to the conditions of the race. But Elusive Winter, I think, is a little bit still untapped going forward. I think that because he's a low mileage rising 5-year-old, he could still have a few wins in him, and wouldn't surprise me to see him scale a few divisions higher where he wouldn't be out of place off a higher rating. So 6 and 7 are the two horses that I'm going to lean towards. I'm So Pretty would be extremely interesting for me if we knew that she was going to be absolutely at the top of her game. She won the SABC Olympic Duel.
And she won well.
She won very, very well. She never looked in doubt. There have been direct winners from that form line. It was a win full of merit from number 9, I'm So Pretty. So she, for me, is very interesting going forward. But does she have the race fitness on her side? Has she had enough time in the middle to sort of be at her absolute best? And you can make that argument for quite a few horses in this race. So I think right here, right now, 1,000 metres in the dead of winter, box swingers 6 and 7 to round it all off.
All right, so that's how we close it off. It's been great being with you. 11 races, going to be a mammoth afternoon, but there's good racing, as I touched on the Iridescent Stakes, the listed event, and the Grade 3 Langeman. Ali, there's really been some interesting times in the sport of horse racing. We know that going up to the Hollywoodbets Durban July, many people will be studying that. You're going to be a busy man. It's great to be with you as always. When we do catch up, thanks for going through the card, and thanks to the team for sitting with us through this 11 races.
Yeah, and obviously next week, an important week, final field reveal. Barrier draw will be done on Tuesday in the midst of the Hollywoodbets Kenilworth meeting. Also the gallops on Thursday morning. And that's really when the punters start to nail their colours to the mast. Lots of people have already nailed their colours to the mast. I tend to stay away from anti-postal. I'll take the knock price-wise. But yeah, next week is a pivotal week, and we'll see what's written in the stars.
And still nothing, dare I say, but there's still been no press release where the 8 on 18 is running. So we don't know what that market's going to do. I'm of the opinion that he will run.
I'm of the opinion that he will run, and I know nothing. I mean, Justin has kept those cards very close to his chest. It's not like we've got any idea, but I think he'll run. If he were mine, he'd run.
100%. Thank you very much. Good to be with you. Thanks more importantly to you as the punter. You can find those perfectly placed interviews on our YouTube channel and our various social media pages as well. Until next time, bye-bye.